Hello there, and welcome to the calm space of LUMIVERSE NL, a calm corner of the cosmos where curiosity meets rest. If you've had a long day or simply wish to fall asleep beneath the soft rhythm of science, you're in the right place. Tonight, we drift among galaxies, not just the one we call home, but hundreds of billions spread across the dark sea of space, each a whisper of light and memory. Some spin in perfect spirals. Others glow faintly, worn by time, stretched thin by gravity's slow dance. Together, they form the silent architecture of the universe, rivers of stars flowing through infinity. In this journey, you'll hear about ancient collisions and hidden halos, about black holes that shine brighter than suns, and galaxies that sleep quietly in the dark. Every story is real. Every light is true. And as you listen, perhaps your thoughts will begin to slow, following the rhythm of orbit, the breath of distance, the quiet pulse of stars. The galaxies we see tonight are not just distant worlds. They are time itself made visible. Their light began traveling long before Earth even existed. A message from a younger universe, crossing 13 billion years to reach your eyes now. What you see in the night sky is not the present, but the past, shimmering softly through the fabric of time. So as you settle into the sound of calm, imagine yourself floating outward, past the thin veil of atmosphere, past the moon, past the edges of the Milky Way. You are no longer on Earth. You are drifting among islands of light, each one a story, each one a memory of creation. And before we begin our journey through the most relaxing galaxy facts to fall asleep to, take one slow breath. Let go of today. Let your mind become as still as space itself, because out here every sound fades into silence, and every silence carries the sound of stars. Stay with me. The journey is about to begin. If this voice helps you unwind, consider subscribing to LUMIVERSE NL. So together, we can keep exploring the universe within. Explore the universe within. The cosmos is listening. Tonight, we begin with light born from darkness. The story of the quasar. Imagine a galaxy whose center burns brighter than all its stars combined. At its heart lies a supermassive black hole, a cosmic engine of gravity so strong that not even light can escape. And yet, what surrounds it glows like creation itself. As the black hole feeds, it pulls in dust and gas from across the galaxy. The matter spirals inward, heating to millions of degrees, spinning faster and faster until it shines like 1 trillion suns. This is a quasar, a galaxy whose core outshines the universe around it. The light doesn't come from the black hole itself, but from the chaos at its edge. Magnetic fields twist, particles collide, and enormous jets of energy shoot outward across millions of light years. Some quasars flicker like distant lighthouses, their beams sweeping through the cosmic sea. Others remain steady, quiet furnaces of unimaginable energy. If you could stand near one, though no human could survive the heat, you would see an ocean of fire spiraling into darkness, where silence meets intensity, and destruction becomes light. These are not rare. Billions of years ago, the early universe was full of them. Young galaxies, rich in gas, fed their black holes eagerly. The cosmos blazed with quasars, brief, brilliant beacons marking the hunger of creation itself. Over time, their fuel faded, the fires dimmed, and the galaxies we see now sleep quietly, carrying only the faint echoes of their once bright hearts. But some still burn, even now. Their light travels for billions of years, cutting through the dark like a memory refusing to fade. When that light reaches us, it's more than observation. It's a message from the dawn of structure, from a time when energy ruled over silence, and darkness gave birth to radiance. So as you rest, imagine that ancient light touching your eyelids, a warmth that began before life, before Earth, before time as we know it. You are seeing the breath of a galaxy that no longer exists, and yet still whispers through the night. In the quiet, it tells us one simple truth. Even in the deepest darkness, there is always something shining. If you feel the calm of that thought, let it guide you deeper into rest. And remember, the universe is not empty. It's filled with quiet fires waiting to be seen. Explore the universe within. Silence carries the sound of stars. As the universe expands and galaxies evolve, not all survive the passage of time. Some are swallowed, slowly and silently, by larger neighbors. And right now, our Milky Way is doing exactly that. Orbiting at the edge of our galaxy is a faint, ancient companion. The Sagittarius dwarf galaxy. It once drifted freely through the local group, but the Milky Way's immense gravity reached out, pulling it inward like a quiet tide. Each time Sagittarius passes through our galactic plane, millions of its stars are stripped away, drawn into vast arcs that now wrap around the Milky Way like ribbons of light. These are the traces of a slow cosmic meal, where gravity feeds not in moments, but across eons. If you could see it from above, you'd notice our galaxy's spiral arms gently stretched and distorted, their motion shaped by the faint tug of this devoured companion. Piece by piece, the dwarf galaxy is fading, its structure unraveling, its stars becoming part of us. Astronomers call this galactic cannibalism, and it's one of the quiet truths of the cosmos. Galaxies grow not in isolation, but by consuming others, merging, absorbing, evolving. Every light in the sky, every swirl of dust and star, is the memory of something that once was. The Sagittarius dwarf is still there, a ghostly remnant orbiting deep within our galactic halo. And every orbit brings it closer to its end, a future where it will vanish completely, its stars scattered across the night like seeds of light. But this isn't destruction, it's transformation, because through each collision, new stars are born. Gas ignites, dust compresses, and the spiral arms of the Milky Way grow stronger, brighter, more alive. Our galaxy is not static, it breathes. It remembers what it consumes, and as it drifts through the dark, it carries the voices of countless smaller galaxies within. So, as you listen tonight, know that the starlight above you is not from one galaxy alone. It's a chorus of many, each shining together to create the luminous being we call home. If you find peace in that thought, that even endings become beginnings, let it stay with you as you fall deeper into calm, because the stars you see tonight were once strangers, and now they are part of us. When galaxies merge, their stars don't collide. Their space is too vast, their distances too wide. But what does collide are their hearts. At the center of nearly every large galaxy lies a supermassive black hole. And when two galaxies meet, those hidden giants begin to spiral toward one another. It's a dance so slow, it spans millions of years. At first, they orbit distantly, circling like cautious partners across a cosmic ballroom. Stars around them begin to drift in strange ways, their orbits shifting as the two invisible titans pull at the fabric of space. Gas clouds fall inward, igniting bursts of new star formation. The galaxies themselves twist, stretching into long tidal tails that shimmer with light. And deep within, the black holes draw closer, their gravity weaving a silent pattern of approach and retreat, like two hearts beating within one colossal chest. Astronomers call these systems binary black holes, and though we can't see them directly, we can feel their influence. Sometimes, both black holes are still feeding, their accretion disks glowing as separate beacons within a single galaxy. Other times, we notice them only through what they disturb. The sudden flicker of light, the warping of nearby gas, or the unusual dance of stars near the center. For millions of years, they orbit in silence, shedding energy through gravitational waves, ripples that travel across the universe. so faint that only the most delicate instruments can hear them. Each ripple is a whisper of power, the universe flexing its invisible muscles. And when they finally merge, the event is magnificent yet unseen. No flash, no explosion, no chaos. Only the invisible shudder of space-time itself, carrying the echo of two colossal entities becoming one. What remains afterward is a single, even greater black hole, drifting quietly at the heart of a reshaped galaxy. The surrounding stars find new orbits. Gas settles. Silence returns. But it's not the same silence as before. It's the hush that follows creation. A pause in which the universe exhales and begins again. To think of this is to realize how strange and graceful the cosmos can be. Collisions that destroy nothing yet change everything. Galaxies that merge not in violence, but in slow surrender. And within them, black holes that do not devour blindly, but fold into each other. An ending that becomes wholeness. Even now, somewhere in the universe, another pair is spiraling together. Perhaps they've been dancing for 1 billion years. Their movement so patient that no human lifetime could measure its pace. And yet, in their motion, they shape the universe. They create the ripples that pass through stars, planets, and even us. You may not feel it, but your body, every atom, every heartbeat, is part of that same rhythm. The same gravitational waves that travel through galaxies pass through you right now. A faint reminder that everything is connected, from the smallest particle to the mightiest black hole. So, when you look up at the night sky, remember that even the quietest point of light may hide a pair of hearts, two invisible beings turning endlessly around one another, waiting for the moment when they will finally become one. And maybe, as you listen, you'll notice something familiar in that idea. The way life too is filled with gravity, drawing us together, pulling us closer until distance dissolves, and only unity remains. The universe doesn't rush. It never hurries toward completion. It turns, folds, merges, breathes, again and again in cycles that outlast time. Let that rhythm settle into you now. Let it slow your thoughts, soften your breath, and remind you that patience is the true pulse of creation. You are part of that same stillness. You are part of that same unfolding. And tonight, as galaxies merge in silence, you can rest, knowing that even in the vastness of the cosmos, everything finds its way home. Explore the universe within. Silence carries the sound of stars. As the universe expands and galaxies evolve, not all survive the passage of time. Some are swallowed, slowly and silently, by larger neighbors. And right now, our Milky Way is doing exactly that. Orbiting at the edge of our galaxy is a faint, ancient companion, the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy. It once drifted freely through the local group, but the Milky Way's immense gravity reached out, pulling it inward like a quiet tide. Each time Sagittarius passes through our galactic plane, millions of its stars are stripped away, drawn into vast arcs that now wrap around the Milky Way like ribbons of light. These are the traces of a slow cosmic meal, where gravity feeds not in moments, but across eons. If you could see it from above, you'd notice our galaxy's spiral arms gently stretched and distorted, their motion shaped by the faint tug of this devoured companion. Piece by piece, the dwarf galaxy is fading, its structure unraveling, its stars becoming part of us. Astronomers call this galactic cannibalism, and it's one of the quiet truths of the cosmos. Galaxies grow not in isolation, but by consuming others, merging, absorbing, evolving. Every light in the sky, every swirl of dust and star is the memory of something that once was. The Sagittarius dwarf is still there, a ghostly remnant orbiting deep within our galactic halo. And every orbit brings it closer to its end, a future where it will vanish completely. Its stars scattered across the night like seeds of light. But this isn't destruction. It's transformation, because through each collision, new stars are born. Gas ignites, dust compresses, and the spiral arms of the Milky Way grow stronger, brighter, more alive. Our galaxy is not static. It breathes. It remembers what it consumes, and as it drifts through the dark, it carries the voices of countless smaller galaxies within. So, as you listen tonight, know that the starlight above you is not from one galaxy alone. It's a chorus of many, each shining together to create the luminous being we call home. If you find peace in that thought, that even endings become beginnings, let it stay with you as you fall deeper into calm, because the stars you see tonight were once strangers, and now they are part of us. When galaxies merge, their stars don't collide. Their space is too vast, their distances too wide. But what does collide are their hearts. At the center of nearly every large galaxy lies a supermassive black hole, and when two galaxies meet, those hidden giants begin to spiral toward one another. It's a dance so slow it spans millions of years. At first, they orbit distantly, circling like cautious partners across a cosmic ballroom. Stars around them begin to drift in strange ways, their orbits shifting as the two invisible titans pull at the fabric of space. Gas clouds fall inward, igniting bursts of new star formation. The galaxies themselves twist, stretching into long tidal tails that shimmer with light. And deep within, the black holes draw closer, their gravity weaving a silent pattern of approach and retreat. Like two hearts beating within one colossal chest. Astronomers call these systems binary black holes, and though we can't see them directly, we can feel their influence. Sometimes, both black holes are still feeding, their accretion disks glowing as separate beacons within a single galaxy. Other times, we notice them only through what they disturb. The sudden flicker of light, the warping of nearby gas, or the unusual dance of stars near the center. For millions of years, they orbit in silence, shedding energy through gravitational waves. Ripples that travel across the universe, so faint that only the most delicate instruments can hear them. Each ripple is a whisper of power, the universe flexing its invisible muscles. And when they finally merge, the event is magnificent yet unseen. No flash, no explosion, no chaos, only the invisible shudder of space-time itself, carrying the echo of two colossal entities becoming one. What remains afterward is a single, even greater black hole, drifting quietly at the heart of a reshaped galaxy. The surrounding stars find new orbits. Gas settles. Silence returns. But it's not the same silence as before. It's the hush that follows creation. A pause in which the universe exhales and begins again. To think of this is to realize how strange and graceful the cosmos can be. Collisions that destroy nothing yet change everything. Galaxies that merge not in violence, but in slow surrender. And within them, black holes that do not devour blindly, but fold into each other. An ending that becomes wholeness. Even now, somewhere in the universe, another pair is spiraling together. Perhaps they've been dancing for 1 billion years, their movement so patient that no human lifetime could measure its pace. And yet, in their motion, they shape the universe. They create the ripples that pass through stars, planets, and even us. You may not feel it, but your body, every atom, every heartbeat, is part of that same rhythm. The same gravitational waves that travel through galaxies pass through you right now, a faint reminder that everything is connected, from the smallest particle to the mightiest black hole. So when you look up at the night sky, remember that even the quietest point of light may hide a pair of hearts. Two invisible beings turning endlessly around one another, waiting for the moment when they will finally become one. And maybe, as you listen, you'll notice something familiar in that idea. The way life too is filled with gravity, drawing us together, pulling us closer until distance dissolves, and only unity remains. The universe doesn't rush. It never hurries toward completion. It turns, folds, merges, breathes, again and again in cycles that outlast time. Let that rhythm settle into you now. Let it slow your thoughts, soften your breath, and remind you that patience is the true pulse of creation. You are part of that same stillness. You are part of that same unfolding. And tonight, as galaxies merge in silence, you can rest, knowing that even in the vastness of the cosmos, everything finds its way home. Explore the universe within. Silence carries the sound of stars. In the deep quiet of space, there are galaxies that shine with nothing at all. No starlight, no clusters, not even the faint glow of gas or dust. And yet, they exist, held together by an invisible hand. These are dark matter galaxies, the ghost realms of the universe. Astronomers discovered them not by sight, but by gravity. They bend the light of distant galaxies behind them, creating faint distortions, subtle arcs that betray their presence. Like shadows bending sunlight, their existence is revealed only by what they touch. We can't see them, but we can feel the pull of their mass, a silent force shaping the motion of stars, the formation of galaxies, the very architecture of the cosmos. Dark matter itself remains a mystery. It doesn't emit, absorb, or reflect light. It passes through everything, invisible yet powerful. Without it, galaxies would fly apart, their stars scattering into the void like sparks from an open flame. But because of it, the universe holds its shape, delicate and balanced, like a spider's web woven through infinity. Imagine looking through a telescope into the blackest corner of the sky. You see nothing, yet beyond that emptiness lies entire galaxies made of shadow. Their stars never formed, or perhaps they were stolen, their light extinguished before it could shine. They drift between clusters, silent cities of unseen matter moving through the cosmic dark. Some of these dark galaxies reveal themselves through motion, tiny ripples in nearby gas clouds, or the gravitational tug on smaller companions. Others remain completely hidden, known only through the way they bend the path of light from something far behind. It's as if the universe itself is full of invisible fingerprints, each one pressing gently on the fabric of space. When scientists map these distortions, a pattern begins to emerge. A vast, interconnected network of filaments and knots. A cosmic web that defines where light may and may not exist. And within this web, the dark galaxies drift, anchors of gravity that sculpt the luminous ones we can see. They are the skeleton of creation, the unseen framework that everything else clings to. Every spiral, every cluster, every star that has ever burned owes its existence to this invisible architecture. In a sense, darkness created light. Without the unseen, the visible could never have taken shape. The galaxies we admire, with their swirls of color and rivers of stars, were born inside halos of this mysterious matter. Drawn together by gravity, we still do not understand. Perhaps that's the most humbling truth of all. The universe we know is built on something we cannot see. Our very existence depends on what lies beyond our perception. And every telescope, every theory, every search for meaning is an attempt to glimpse the invisible, to understand the quiet force that holds everything in place. Even now, as you listen, dark matter surrounds you. It fills the room, the air, the space between atoms. It moves through your body, through the planet, through every beam of starlight that ever was. It connects you to everything that exists, to the galaxies that drift unseen, to the stars that once burned, to the origins of the cosmos itself. When you close your eyes tonight, know that the darkness you see is not emptiness. It's the foundation of everything. It's the hidden structure that allows light to be. Darkness isn't the absence of creation. It's its beginning. So breathe in that thought, that even the unseen can be beautiful, and that what holds you together may be something you can never touch. In a universe of silence, it is the invisible that keeps the stars alive. Explore the universe within. The cosmos is listening. From far above the Milky Way, our galaxy looks calm, a luminous spiral adrift in blackness, arms of light curling gracefully toward a glowing core. But in truth, the Milky Way is not still. It's being pulled, stretched, and shaped by invisible forces that span millions of light years. These are the cosmic tides, the gentle but unending pull of gravity between galaxies, just as the moon pulls on Earth's oceans. Creating the slow rhythm of the tides, so too do neighboring galaxies pull on us, warping the Milky Way's outer edges, bending its thin disk into subtle waves. The strongest of these influences comes from Andromeda, our nearest large galactic neighbor, drifting toward us at nearly 110 kilometers per second. It's unimaginably far, 2.5 million light-years away. Yet its gravity reaches across that vast gulf, drawing us toward it with patient persistence. If you could see the Milky Way from the side, you'd notice its outer arms don't lie flat. They ripple, rising and falling in long, slow arcs, like the surface of an ocean disturbed by an unseen wind. Gas clouds shift, star clusters drift. Even the stars in our solar neighborhood are subtly moving, their orbits nudged by these great cosmic currents. And it's not just Andromeda. Dozens of smaller galaxies, including the Magellanic Clouds and Sagittarius Dwarf, also pull on us, adding their own gentle gravity to the mix. Every motion, every shimmer of light in our sky is part of this slow cosmic choreography, a dance too vast for human eyes to notice, but one that has shaped our galaxy for billions of years. Astronomers have traced these distortions like ripples in a pond. They can see where the Milky Way's disk bends upward, where its spiral arms twist unevenly, and where faint streams of stars reveal the tug of distant companions. Some regions appear warped, others stretched like threads of silk in a silent current. The result is a galaxy alive with motion, breathing in slow cycles that last longer than civilizations, longer even than the Earth's continents themselves. To us, the night sky feels eternal, a fixed map of stars. But in truth, every star you see is moving, every pattern is temporary. The constellations you know today will someday vanish, their shapes erased by the slow currents of galactic motion. Andromeda is pulling us closer, but we are also pulling on it. Two massive spirals drawn together by fate, each feeling the other's gravity like a pulse across the dark. In 4 billion years they'll meet, not with collision, but with embrace. Their shapes will twist and fold, their arms colliding like waves upon waves. New stars will ignite where gas meets pressure. And in time, both galaxies will merge into one vast, glowing elliptical form. A single cosmic being born from two. For now, though, we are suspended in between. Every moment we live takes place within that long approach. Our galaxy stretches gently toward its destiny, a journey so slow it feels like stillness. But motion is always there, subtle, patient, infinite. Even as you lie still beneath the stars, you are moving too, carried by the Earth around the sun, by the sun around the Milky Way, and by the Milky Way itself through the expanding universe. You are part of a motion so vast that the concept of here begins to lose meaning. Perhaps that's what peace really is, to realize that movement doesn't mean unrest. That change, even on the scale of galaxies, is a form of harmony. Every orbit, every ripple, every drift is the universe breathing. Slowly, endlessly, without hurry. So the next time you look up and see the Milky Way stretching across the sky, remember that it's not frozen. It's flowing, a river of stars bending through time. And somewhere in that current, you are drifting too. a single thought carried by the quiet tide of the cosmos. Let the rhythm of that thought lull you deeper into stillness. The galaxy moves, you move with it, and everything, in its slow and graceful way, is at peace. Explore the universe within. Silence carries the sound of stars, the crowded centers of cosmic civilization. Over billions of years, they've swallowed smaller galaxies, one by one, each merger adding new stars, new mass, new memory. Every star in their vast halos once belonged somewhere else. Each shimmer of light is a story absorbed, a collision rewritten into calm. Imagine a night sky from inside such a galaxy. Stars would fill every direction, dense and golden. Each one an echo of another world consumed long ago. There would be no dark voids, no empty horizons, just light upon light, an endless sea of suns stretching far beyond vision. And yet, for all their brightness, these galaxies are strangely quiet. They no longer form many new stars. Their gas has been used up or flung away. What remains is old, steady, and monumental. A kind of cosmic cathedral where time itself seems to slow. Astronomers have found that these supergiant galaxies often anchor entire clusters, their mass dominating the space around them. Dozens, sometimes hundreds of smaller galaxies orbit them like satellites around a sun. Their gravity binds the cluster together, holding everything in a slow collective motion that spans hundreds of millions of years. The largest known example is IC 1101, a supergiant elliptical galaxy over 6 million light-years wide, home to perhaps 100 trillion stars. Its core glows with an intense golden light, while its outer halo fades into darkness so gradually that no one can truly say where the galaxy ends and the void begins. Within its heart lies a supermassive black hole, billions of times the mass of the Sun. Around it, ancient stars orbit in silence, their paths set long before Earth even formed. This black hole may have devoured countless others, its hunger shaping the very center of the galaxy. And yet, from our distant view, IC 1101 looks peaceful. A faint blur of golden light surrounded by nothing. But that nothing is deceptive. Within that blur lies a billion worlds, each with its own story of birth and decay. The universe contains thousands of these behemoths, each a relic of cosmic growth. Proof that galaxies, like living things, can grow old and vast and still find balance. When we look at them, we're peering at the universe's memory of abundance, a reminder that even light can accumulate layer by layer over billions of years. It's humbling to realize that our galaxy, so immense to us, is but a small ripple in that cosmic ocean, a single spiral drifting in the shadow of giants. And yet, smallness doesn't mean insignificance. If the universe were a symphony, these giant galaxies would be the deep, sustained chords. But the Milky Way, and galaxies like it, are the melody that gives the song its movement. In the end, the giants may fade, their stars cooling, their cores going quiet. But the smaller galaxies will continue to dance, to merge, to create, keeping the music alive across eternity. So when you look up at the night sky and feel small beneath the weight of the stars, remember, you are not looking at size, you are looking at time. Every star, every galaxy, every faint glimmer is an era preserved in light. And you, even for a moment, are part of that timeless scale. The giants exist to remind us that growth can be peaceful, that power can be quiet, and that everything vast began as something small. The Milky Way, too, will grow. Someday it may stand among those giants, a calm, glowing relic in a future sky. Until then, we drift through the quiet middle, between the infancy of the cosmos and the grandeur of its endless maturity. Explore the universe within. The cosmos is listening. In the vast quiet of the universe, most galaxies form stars slowly, 1 or 2 per year, a patient rhythm that lasts for billions of years. But some galaxies burn with urgency. They light up in sudden, magnificent bursts of creation, forging hundreds or even thousands of stars at once. These are called starburst galaxies, and for a brief moment in cosmic time, they blaze brighter than almost anything else in the sky. The cause of a starburst is almost always a collision. Two galaxies pass near each other, their gravity stirring the gas and dust inside both, compressing it until it ignites in waves of star formation. Clouds collapse. Radiation pours out. The galaxies themselves seem to catch fire. Imagine standing within one. The night sky would be filled with light, not from a few thousand stars like ours, but from billions being born all at once. Nebulae would glow across the horizon, their colors alive with heat and ionized gas. Supernovae would erupt like cosmic fireworks, their shock waves rippling through the interstellar sea. It would be chaos, but the kind of chaos that gives birth to beauty. This intense creation doesn't last long. In a few million years, a heartbeat by galactic standards, the galaxy's reserves of gas are exhausted. The great clouds that once birthed stars are gone, and silence returns. What remains is a quieter galaxy, its brilliance fading as it settles back into stillness. Astronomers studying starburst galaxies can see these cycles of energy like the rise and fall of breath. The famous antennae galaxies, locked together in a slow collision, glow with thousands of new star clusters, each one a nursery of light. Each one destined to evolve, fade, and vanish in time. In another corner of the sky lies M82, also known as the Cigar Galaxy. It burns fiercely with newborn stars, its core exploding with superheated gas that shoots out in glowing red plumes thousands of light years long. It's a galaxy alive in overdrive, turning itself inside out through the act of creation. And yet, from a distance, these starbursts don't look violent. They shimmer softly, their fury hidden beneath the calm glow of distant light. To the human eye, they are tranquil. But within them, matter is rearranging itself at a breathtaking pace. This process, this brief, burning moment, is part of how galaxies evolve. A collision gives rise to chaos. Chaos becomes light, and light becomes memory. When the gas is gone, the galaxy rests, older, wiser, and full of stars that will drift quietly for billions of years. Perhaps there's something familiar in that pattern. Creation often begins with disruption. Pressure gives birth to brilliance. Even in the universe, beauty is forged in turmoil. If you could slow time and watch it all unfold, you would see galaxies pulsing, brightening and dimming in endless succession, each breath of light marking the balance between destruction and renewal. We often think of the universe as cold and indifferent, but it's more like a living organism, inhaling and exhaling energy, transforming through cycles of light and stillness. The Milky Way itself may have once been a starburst galaxy. Billions of years ago, when it collided with smaller companions, it likely flared with new light, its spiral arms glowing with youth and power. And someday, when it meets Andromeda, it may blaze again, one final burst before the long calm that follows. So as you listen now, imagine that moment. Two galaxies colliding, their stars swirling together, their gases igniting in silent brilliance. There is no explosion you can hear, no chaos that destroys. Only light, only creation, only the universe learning, once more, how to breathe. Let that image fill your mind. The heat, the glow, the calm that follows. Because somewhere, right now, a new starburst is beginning. Its light already traveling toward us across millions of years. And someday, when that light reaches your eyes, you'll be seeing the memory of creation itself, that everything born of pressure eventually becomes light. Everything brilliant eventually rests. That's how galaxies live. And how peace, too, is made. Explore the universe within. Silence carries the sound of stars. At the heart of every great galaxy lies a mystery, a place where gravity becomes so strong that time itself begins to stretch. There, at the center of the spiral, sits a supermassive black hole, the silent anchor around which billions of stars revolve. Our own galaxy is no exception. At the core of the Milky Way, 26,000 light-years from Earth, lies Sagittarius A, a black hole about 4 million times the mass of the Sun. It is quiet now, its hunger subdued, its voice reduced to the faint radio murmurs we can barely detect. But our neighbor, the Andromeda Galaxy, hides something even larger. At its center spins a black hole, at least twice the mass of ours, and possibly much more. For now, it too is calm, but one day, when our galaxies collide, these two dark giants will meet, spiraling around one another until they merge into one. The thought of it feels almost poetic. Two hearts of gravity, two cosmic centers drawn together across millions of years by forces neither can resist. The stars between them will swirl and scatter. Gas will compress into new clusters, and somewhere in the midst of it all, a new black hole will be born. Vast, radiant, and utterly silent. Astronomers have already glimpsed galaxies caught in this process, their twin black holes orbiting like ghosts around an unseen center. They spiral closer with every passing millennium, sending out waves that ripple through space-time itself. One day, those ripples, gravitational waves, will reach us, tiny distortions in reality, the faint tremors of something colossal, far away. And when they do, our instruments will detect them as a pulse, a rhythmic stretch and squeeze of space-time, a vibration of the universe's own heartbeat. It's hard to imagine something so vast creating something so quiet, but that's the beauty of the cosmos. Its most powerful events often happen in perfect silence. What happens inside a black hole is beyond comprehension. At its edge lies the event horizon, a boundary where light can only fall inward, never escape. Beyond that, physics itself begins to break. We can't see what happens there, but we can measure the effects. The swirl of gas, the arcs of light bent into impossible curves, the shadows carved into glowing disks of matter. In 2019, humanity captured the first real image of such a shadow, a blurry orange ring surrounding a dark void. The silhouette of a black hole in the galaxy M87. That image was not just a photograph, it was a revelation, a proof that these invisible monsters truly exist. And now, with more advanced telescopes, we've even begun to map the faint flicker of Sagittarius A, our own galactic heart, glowing weakly beneath veils of cosmic dust. Sometimes it flares for a moment, a burst of X-rays, a sudden pulse of brightness, as if something briefly fell across its edge. Then, just as quickly, it fades, returning to stillness. It sleeps, but it remembers hunger. One day, when Andromeda approaches, that hunger may awaken again. The two galaxies will merge their gas, their dust, their light, and their shadows. The twin black holes will begin to orbit, a slow, elegant spiral over millions of years, until at last they collide, sending ripples through space like a final sigh. In that moment, a new center will form, a single black hole 10 million times the mass of the Sun, silent but radiant with power. It will become the anchor of a new galaxy, a new structure of light and dust and motion, a symbol of the way everything, even destruction, can become balance again. We often think of black holes as endings, but they are not. They are transformations, gateways through which matter becomes energy, and energy becomes memory. They remind us that even in total darkness, the universe continues to create. When you gaze into the night sky, remember that every point of light spins around something unseen. Every galaxy hides a heart of gravity, a silent core where everything is drawn inward, not in violence, but in unity. The stars orbit it. The gas feeds it, and somehow, through that gravity, the galaxy holds together, balanced, stable, eternal. Even you, in your quiet way, are orbiting something unseen. A purpose, a center, a gravity that gives your life its motion. The universe doesn't rush, and neither should you, because in the vast stillness between galaxies, even the darkest centers shine in their own way. Explore the universe within. Silence carries the sound of stars. To look into deep space is to look into time. Every photon of light, every faint shimmer on a telescope's mirror, is an echo of something that happened long ago. A story still traveling through the dark to reach us. When we observe the most distant galaxies, we're not seeing them as they are now, but as they were over 13 billion years ago, when the universe was still young. Barely a few 100 million years after the Big Bang, these ancient galaxies are tiny, chaotic, and bright. Their light stretched and reddened by the expansion of space itself. They look nothing like the elegant spirals we see nearby. Instead, they are knots of gas and dust, glowing with the fierce energy of newborn stars. They are the universe's first experiments in structure, the first sparks of order in the aftermath of creation. Through telescopes like the James Webb Space Telescope, we can now glimpse these cosmic infants. Some appear as faint smudges, barely visible even after weeks of exposure. Others shine a little brighter, revealing clusters of stars and clouds of glowing hydrogen. Each one is a window into a time when darkness still ruled the sky, and light was just beginning to claim its place. When you see those images, those pale, ancient galaxies glowing softly in infrared, you're witnessing the moment the universe learned to shine. You're seeing what it looked like when stars first turned hydrogen into light, when galaxies first began to breathe. The most distant of these galaxies are more than 13 billion light-years away. Their light began its journey before the Milky Way existed, before the sun was born, before even the atoms in your body were formed inside other stars. What you're seeing is a message from the universe's childhood. Light so old it carries the memory of time itself. Some of these early galaxies are surprisingly mature. Even at such young cosmic ages, they already show signs of structure. Rotating disks, bulges of dense stars, and black holes forming in their centers. It's as if the universe rushed to grow up, assembling its first great islands of matter in an era when everything was still new and wild. Others are small and short-lived, fragile bursts of starlight that burned brightly and then faded, their gas consumed in the rush of creation. But together, these early galaxies ended the cosmic dark ages, filling the universe with radiation, ionizing the hydrogen that had once made it opaque. They cleared the fog of time, turning darkness into transparency. A universe finally awake. It's humbling to realize that the light from those galaxies has been traveling toward us since before there was an us. Before life, before Earth, before even the atoms of carbon that make you. That light crossed the silent gulf of space for billions of years, never slowing, never fading, until it touched the glass of a telescope and became an image on a human screen. We are the first species, as far as we know, to look back this far, to see the universe not just as it is, but as it was when it first opened its eyes. Every time we observe a distant galaxy, we're watching the universe remember itself. It's easy to forget that the night sky isn't static. Those stars you see are not frozen in place. They're moments, each one carrying light from a different time. When you gaze upward, you're not seeing now. You're seeing history layered across the heavens. Some of that history is ancient, older than continents, older than worlds. Some of it is recent, the glow of stars still being born. And all of it, every photon, every color, is a piece of time given to you. So tonight, As you drift deeper into calm, imagine those first galaxies burning quietly at the edge of existence. Imagine their light crossing billions of years just to reach your eyes. Tiny particles of memory whispering, "I was there when it began." That light will never fade completely. It will echo forever, carrying the record of how the universe grew from nothing into everything. And perhaps, in your own life, there's a reflection of that same truth. That from silence, light is born. That from distance, understanding arrives. You are made of the same particles that once floated through those first galaxies. The same atoms forged in those first stars. When you look at their light, you are, in a way, looking at yourself. You are the universe remembering what it is made of. You are the cosmos, looking back at its own reflection. So breathe. Let that thought settle like starlight in your mind. The light you see tonight began billions of years ago, and tonight it ends its journey in you. Explore the universe within. The cosmos is listening. The Milky Way, like every great galaxy, is not made of one story. It's made of thousands, stitched together by time and gravity. And if you look closely at the edges of our galaxy, you'll find traces of those stories written across the stars. Faint trails, looping arcs, and ghostly ribbons of light stretching through the dark. These are stellar streams, the remains of smaller galaxies that once orbited too close to us, pulled apart by our gravity and absorbed into our halo. They are the fingerprints of ancient collisions, the quiet evidence that our galaxy grew not by sudden creation, but by endless gathering. Each stream is a thread of memory. Some are long and thin, curving gracefully around the Milky Way like cosmic silk. Others are broad, diffuse, almost invisible, rivers of stars flowing through the void. To the naked eye they are hidden, but with deep sky imaging they reveal a delicate map of motion, a record of everything the Milky Way has ever touched. The most famous of these is the Sagittarius Stream, the remnant of a galaxy we are still devouring. It wraps around the Milky Way in great arcs, a glowing scar that circles us twice over. Every star within it was once part of a small, self-contained world, until gravity drew it too close. But there are many others. Streams from galaxies long gone, their origins lost to time. Some flow high above the galactic plane, others spiral inward, their stars slowly blending into the background. It's through these remnants that astronomers can reconstruct our history. A kind of cosmic archaeology where the tools are light, motion, and patience. By studying the orbits of these streams, scientists can even map the invisible. Because dark matter, that mysterious substance that makes up most of our galaxy's mass, shapes the paths these stars follow. The way a stream bends or breaks tells us how much dark matter lies hidden beneath it. In this way, the dead galaxies still speak, their remains tracing the unseen skeleton of the cosmos. It's a strange kind of beauty, to realize that destruction leaves behind something so graceful. These streams are not violent wreckage. They are gentle echoes, slowly spreading across space for billions of years. Each one a whisper. I was here. I once belonged. And though their galaxies are gone, their stars live on. Some now orbit peacefully within the Milky Way, mingling with our own. Others drift farther out, silent wanderers on long, looping paths that may never return. Even our sun may someday become part of such a stream. Billions of years from now, when the Milky Way merges with Andromeda, the structure of both galaxies will unravel. Their stars, including ours, will scatter into vast arcs of light, new rivers of motion winding through the dark. We too will become part of the next stellar stream, a new thread in the continuing fabric of the universe. It's comforting, in a way, to know that nothing is truly lost. Every galaxy absorbed, every star consumed, becomes part of something greater. The cosmos never wastes. It recycles everything, turning collapse into connection and endings into motion. When you look at the Milky Way stretching across the sky, you are looking at more than just one galaxy. You are seeing the ghosts of dozens, their stars woven into ours, their light still traveling outward, blending into the great spiral that carries us all. If you could trace each stream back to its beginning, you'd see the slow merging of cosmic families, worlds meeting, mingling, and fading into one another until the boundaries vanish. It's not destruction, it's unity. And that unity is what gives our galaxy its beauty. Somewhere, right now, another small galaxy is beginning that same journey. It drifts toward us through the void, drawn by gravity's quiet invitation. And though it will be torn apart, its stars will not vanish. They will join the song, adding their light to the river that never stops flowing. The Milky Way is not just a place, it's an inheritance, a living record of every encounter it has ever had. And each star you see tonight is a survivor of that long, gentle war of gravity. So as you drift deeper into rest, let that thought move through you, that even when things are pulled apart, they can still become something beautiful. That motion, even slow and unseen, is what keeps the universe alive. You are part of that motion, a single particle in a vast stellar stream, moving quietly through eternity. Explore the universe within. Silence carries the sound of stars. Every galaxy moves through space, drawn and reshaped by invisible threads of gravity. And in the vast dance of the cosmos, no pair is more fated than the Milky Way and Andromeda. Across the endless dark, our two great spirals are drifting toward one another. A slow-motion collision that will define the future of both. Right now, Andromeda shines faintly in our northern sky, just a smudge of light beneath the constellations Cassiopeia and Perseus. It's the most distant object visible to the naked eye, a galaxy of over 1 trillion stars, floating 2.5 million light-years away. To the human eye, it seems frozen, timeless. But it's not. It's moving toward us at a speed of more than 100 kilometers per second. In about 4 billion years, that approach will end. The Milky Way and Andromeda will meet, not in an instant, but over hundreds of millions of years, in a process both chaotic and astonishingly beautiful. When the two galaxies first touch, their shapes will distort. Spiral arms will twist and stretch. Stars will be flung into enormous arcs, and waves of gas will collide, igniting new bursts of star formation. Each galaxy will pass through the other, momentarily interwoven before gravity draws them back again. Despite the word collision, very few stars will actually collide. The distances between them are too vast. Instead, they'll weave through one another like ghosts, passing unharmed, yet forever changed. Gas clouds, though, will meet head-on, compressing into glowing nebulae where new stars are born. In the aftermath, both galaxies will blaze with light, their cores radiant, their edges trailing long, luminous streams of stars. After several passes, the two will finally merge. Their graceful spirals will dissolve into a single, vast elliptical galaxy, a glowing sphere of stars slowly rotating in the silence of space. Astronomers have even given it a name, Milkomeda, a union of Milky Way and Andromeda, a new home for what remains of both. At the center of this future galaxy will be a single, colossal black hole, formed when Sagittarius A and Andromeda's central giant finally combine. That event will release gravitational waves strong enough to ripple through the entire universe. And though no one will be there to see it, its echo will endure, an invisible symphony played on the strings of space-time itself. The sun, by then, will have aged. Its orbit around the galaxy will stretch and warp, carrying what's left of our solar system into new territory. Perhaps our descendants or whatever life survives us, will look up at a new sky, one filled with thousands more stars than today, a brilliant tapestry of merged light. For a time, that sky will be breathtaking, an endless wash of gold and silver, stars so dense they outshine the dark between them. And then, slowly, it will quiet. Star formation will fade, and the new galaxy will settle into calm, a mature, silent monument to a union billions of years in the making. Even now, astronomers can trace the gravitational pull between the two galaxies, watching as Andromeda's approach distorts our Milky Way's disk. Long before the final merge, their halos, vast invisible spheres of dark matter, will begin to overlap, binding them together in a shared gravitational field. The collision has already begun, just too slowly for human eyes to notice. This story is not one of destruction, but of transformation. When galaxies merge, they do not vanish. They evolve. They become something new, something larger, more complex and more serene. It's a strange comfort, knowing that even the Milky Way, something so seemingly eternal, has a destiny. It reminds us that everything moves toward change, and that change itself is not an end. It's part of the rhythm of existence. You too are moving through your own collisions. Moments of impact, moments of surrender, moments that reshape you quietly over time. And just like galaxies, you will not break. You will become something new. So when you look toward Andromeda tonight, remember that it is not a distant stranger. It is our future. Its light is traveling toward you. And so is its gravity. Across 2 million light years, it is already touching you. A pull so faint you cannot feel it, yet strong enough to reshape the sky itself. In 4 billion years, the Milky Way and Andromeda will no longer exist, but something greater will take their place. A single, unified galaxy, born from their long embrace. And that too is the story of everything. That endings, when seen from far enough away, are just the beginnings of new light. Explore the universe within. The cosmos is listening. Not all galaxies are made of stars. Some shine without shining. Ghostly shapes drifting through the universe, visible only through their effect on the light that passes near them. These are dark galaxies, cosmic shadows built almost entirely of gas and dark matter, with little or no starlight at all. When astronomers first proposed their existence, it sounded like science fiction. How could a galaxy exist without stars? But then came the evidence. Odd distortions of gravity, subtle shifts in hydrogen emissions, and faint radio whispers that revealed enormous clouds of gas moving as though held together by an unseen force. These dark galaxies are the universe's most elusive citizens. They are cold, silent, and almost entirely invisible to optical telescopes. To find them, scientists use radio waves, tracing the faint 21-centimeter line emitted by neutral hydrogen. When that signal appears without any corresponding light, it means something massive is there. Something made of gas, but too dim to see. In some cases, these ghostly systems might be failed galaxies, places where gravity gathered matter, but conditions never allowed stars to ignite. In others, they could be the remnants of galaxies long ago stripped bare, their stars torn away by collisions or tidal forces, leaving only the dark skeleton behind. Imagine drifting through one of these invisible worlds. No sunlight, no warmth, no sparkle. Just endless clouds of cold hydrogen gas, slowly swirling in patterns only gravity understands. You wouldn't see anything, only darkness upon darkness, and the faint hum of motion through a void that feels infinite. And yet, in that darkness, there is potential. Dark galaxies are like cosmic embryos, gatherings of matter waiting for the right spark. If something were to disturb them, a collision, a wave of radiation, a passing galaxy brushing their edges, That push could compress the gas enough for stars to form. A dead galaxy could awaken, lighting up for the first time in billions of years. The universe is filled with these sleeping giants, hidden just beyond the threshold of light. Every one of them is a reminder that the cosmos is more than what we can see. For every bright spiral like the Milky Way, there may be dozens of dark ones. Invisible frameworks shaping the universe in secret. Astronomers have even found small, starless systems orbiting larger galaxies like shadows. They tug gently on nearby matter, their presence betrayed only by the motion they cause. It's as if each shining galaxy is haunted by a quiet, invisible companion, a twin, made of darkness. Sometimes, when light from a distant source passes through space, it bends slightly, distorted by a gravitational field we can't see. That bending, known as gravitational lensing, is how we know these hidden masses exist. We can't observe them directly, but we can watch how they warp reality itself. Even in their silence, they leave fingerprints on the fabric of space-time. It's strange to think that the universe might be filled with far more invisible galaxies than visible ones. That what we call the cosmos, the glowing web of stars, is only a thin layer resting atop something much greater, something unseen. The dark galaxies are the scaffolding of creation, the unseen foundation upon which everything luminous is built. Perhaps, in some distant era, a few of them will awaken. A collision might light their gas. A passing quasar might bathe them in energy, triggering the birth of stars where none existed before. They will emerge from the void, shining for the first time, briefly visible before fading again into the deep. We may never see most of them. Their light will never reach us. But their influence is everywhere. Every star that forms, every galaxy that grows, every cluster that holds its shape, does so because the dark exists to hold it. In a way, dark galaxies teach us something profound about life itself, that not all beauty shines, that not all presence is visible. Sometimes the most powerful things are the ones we cannot see. The gravity that binds, the silence that gives space for creation to unfold. So tonight, as you close your eyes, don't be afraid of the dark. Think of it instead as the womb of the universe, the place where all light begins. In darkness, there is structure. In silence, there is motion. And somewhere, far beyond what we can perceive, a galaxy made of shadow drifts quietly, holding the shape of a universe that could not exist without it. Explore the universe within. The cosmos is listening. Light does not always travel straight. Across the vastness of space, it bends, curved by the gravity of massive galaxies and clusters that lie in its path. This phenomenon, known as gravitational lensing, is one of the most elegant proofs of Einstein's theory of general relativity. It reveals not just how light moves, but how space itself is shaped by mass. Imagine a distant galaxy, billions of light years away, sending its ancient light toward us. Between it and our telescopes drifts another galaxy, massive enough to warp the very fabric of space-time. The light from the background galaxy doesn't vanish. It bends around the foreground object, splitting into arcs, halos, or even perfect circles of light. To us, it looks as though the universe has painted with symmetry, forming what astronomers call an Einstein ring, a natural sculpture carved from gravity and light. Through these cosmic lenses, we can see what would otherwise be invisible. They magnify and distort the faintest, most distant galaxies, acting as natural telescopes built by the universe itself. Thanks to them, we've glimpsed galaxies from the dawn of time. Small, red-shifted smudges that would have been lost in the darkness without this gravitational magnification. In some images, the effect is breathtaking. A single galaxy might appear as 4 perfect copies, arranged like petals around a glowing center. Or a background quasar might stretch into a luminous arc, its light folded over itself by space-time's curvature. Every lensing event tells two stories, one about the object behind and one about the object in front. In the same frame, we see both the distant past and the massive present, layered together in light. Astronomers study these distortions carefully. By measuring how much the light bends, they can determine the mass of the lensing galaxy, including the invisible mass of dark matter. Because light follows gravity's map, each arc and curve becomes a line of evidence pointing to where unseen matter lies. Even when a galaxy has faded, its gravity remains, bending light like a fingerprint pressed into space-time. Some of the strongest lenses we know come from enormous galaxy clusters, each one containing thousands of galaxies bound together in a vast halo of dark matter. Their collective gravity is enough to magnify objects far beyond them, turning clusters into cosmic mirrors that reflect the universe's earliest light. Through them, we've discovered galaxies so distant that their light began its journey only a few 100 million years after the Big Bang. What's remarkable is how delicate the effect is. A shift of a single arc second, the apparent width of a coin seen from kilometers away, can change the entire pattern. A small fluctuation in mass, a hidden pocket of dark matter, can twist light into shapes that no artist could imagine. The universe, it seems, is both painter and frame, using gravity as its brush. There's something deeply poetic in the idea that light, the fastest thing we know, can still be guided, that even photons, racing through the void, must bow to the invisible pull of gravity. They remind us that nothing travels alone. Every path is shaped by what it passes, every journey influenced by unseen forces. We often think of light as pure and straight, a symbol of clarity. But in truth, light is patient. It bends, it adapts, it finds its way around obstacles, turning distortion into revelation. It shows us that truth itself isn't always direct, that sometimes the clearest view comes from a path curved by gravity and time. When you look at an image of an Einstein ring, that luminous circle glowing against the dark, you're seeing light that has traveled for billions of years, only to be reshaped at the last moment, just before reaching your eyes. It's a meeting of distances and destinies. A conversation between matter and motion. Somewhere in that curved light lies the reflection of your own journey. The way your path, too, has been shaped by invisible forces, by gravity, by time, by other lives intersecting with your own. Like the photons bending around galaxies, you are still moving forward, still finding your way through distortion, still carrying light towards something waiting to see it. So the next time you see an image of warped light in space, don't just think of science. Think of connection. Think of patience. Think of how beauty can emerge from the bending of a straight line. Because in the end, the universe doesn't hide its truths. It curves them, gently, so that we must look deeper, listen longer, and wait for the light to arrive. Explore the universe within. The cosmos is listening. At the center of some galaxies, energy erupts in ways that defy imagination. Out of the darkness, twin jets of light burst from their cores, stretching for millions of light years. Beams of raw power streaming from the edge of nothingness. These are the relativistic jets of active black holes, and they are among the most extraordinary phenomena in the universe. To understand them, imagine a galaxy with a hungry heart, a supermassive black hole feeding on gas and dust that fall inward. As this matter spirals toward the center, it forms a blazing accretion disk, spinning faster and faster as it nears the event horizon. The temperature climbs to millions of degrees, and magnetic fields twist tighter than anything we can imagine. Most of the matter falls in, but some, instead of vanishing, is flung outward in narrow streams that pierce the darkness like spears of light. These jets move at nearly the speed of light, composed of charged particles guided by magnetic lines that extend far beyond the galaxy itself. They travel through intergalactic space, carving tunnels of radiation that glow in radio wavelengths long after the visible light fades. To distant observers, they appear as thin, elegant beams emerging from a bright core, a cosmic heartbeat frozen in motion. No one fully understands how black holes launch such perfect streams. The process defies simple explanation, balancing gravity, magnetism, and relativity in delicate precision. It's as if the black hole, while devouring matter, still finds a way to give something back, releasing energy that shapes galaxies on scales beyond comprehension. Some of the brightest sources in the sky, the quasars and blazars, owe their brilliance to these jets. When the beam happens to point toward Earth, we see it magnified, its radiation amplified 1,000-fold by relativistic motion. Instruments detect X-rays, gamma rays, and radio waves pouring from billions of light years away. Signals from a cosmic engine, operating with perfect silence. One of the most famous examples is the galaxy M87. Its central black hole, captured in the first-ever photograph of a black hole's shadow, launches a jet that extends nearly 5,000 light-years into space. If you could see it with your eyes, it would look like a thin, brilliant filament, a thread of light weaving through the dark fabric of the cosmos. It glows not because of heat, but because particles within it are moving at relativistic speeds, so fast that they emit energy simply by existing. These jets can sculpt entire galaxies. Their radiation heats and pushes away gas, regulating star formation and shaping the evolution of the host galaxy. Too much energy, and the gas is blown away. Too little, and it collapses into new stars. The jets act like a thermostat for creation, maintaining balance between birth and stillness. In the largest systems, jets can stretch beyond the galaxy itself, interacting with the intergalactic medium, the thin gas that fills the space between clusters. They create vast radio lobes, structures so immense that they can span millions of light years. Even long after the central black hole quiets, these lobes continue to glow. Echoes of a time when the galaxy burned at its brightest. And yet, despite their power, these events unfold in silence. There is no sound in space, only motion. Particles guided by forces older than time, streams of energy that move without resistance. If you could stand near one of these jets, you wouldn't hear it. You'd see light that doesn't flicker, motion that doesn't end, and a sense of scale that makes language fall away. They remind us that creation and destruction are not opposites. They are intertwined. The same black hole that devours matter also fuels the birth of new galaxies, turning collapse into expansion, turning darkness into light. Every jet is a paradox, something that emerges from nothing, something that escapes what should be inescapable. Perhaps that's why they feel so symbolic, a reflection of how, even in the depths of pressure and gravity, the universe finds a way to express energy, to communicate across impossible distances. In a way, every person has their own kind of jet, a current of energy, creativity, or thought that radiates outward into the lives of others. We don't see it, but it travels. Through words, through moments, through presence, leaving trails of light in the space between souls. The black holes don't roar, and neither does meaning. Both act in silence, sending waves of influence across time, shaping what follows long after the moment has passed. So, as you drift deeper into stillness, imagine those cosmic jets streaming through eternity, beams of light born from darkness, stretching through galaxies, never stopping, never fading completely. They are the universe's quiet declaration that even in collapse, there is release. Even in silence, there is motion. And even in darkness, there is light. Explore the universe within. Silence carries the sound of stars. That same light, that same hydrogen, that same gravity that shaped the first galaxies. Their echoes live within you, in every atom of your blood, in every breath drawn under the same cosmic laws. The first galaxies were the universe's first memories. And you, here and now, are one of their dreams continuing to unfold. Explore the universe within. The cosmos remembers everything. The Milky Way feels timeless, vast, still, and complete. But in truth, it's a living thing, a slow symphony of motion that never stops playing. Every star you see tonight is moving. Every cluster is drifting. Every spiral arm is flowing like a river of light. Our galaxy is enormous, a sprawling spiral over 100,000 light-years across, home to hundreds of billions of stars. But what truly defines it is not its size, it's the rhythm of its rotation. Each star, each cloud, each fragment of dust follows a path around the galactic center. A journey so vast it takes over 200 million years to complete. That means since the Earth was born, we've circled the galaxy only about 20 times. Every revolution marks an era. The rise and fall of continents, the extinction of species, the birth and death of stars. It's strange to think that even the sun is moving, not fixed, not still, but racing through space at over 220 kilometers per second. It drags along the planets, comets, and every whisper of dust that makes up our solar family, all of us orbiting an invisible anchor. The supermassive black hole Sagittarius A, 4 million times the mass of the Sun. This rotation is not simple. It's not like the spin of a solid wheel. If it were, stars near the edge would move slower than those at the center. But that's not what astronomers see. The stars in the outer arms move just as fast as those closer in. It's as if something unseen is adding extra gravity, something invisible, holding everything together. That's how we discovered dark matter. Without it, the galaxy would tear itself apart, its stars flung into intergalactic space. But because of that invisible mass, the Milky Way holds its shape, a vast, balanced storm of motion. The spiral arms themselves may not even be permanent. They are waves, regions where stars and gas gather for a time before drifting onward. As stars move through these arms, they slow slightly, bunching together before flowing out again, like cars moving through a gentle cosmic traffic jam. The pattern remains, but the material within it is always changing. In that way, the Milky Way breathes, its spirals pulsing through time, its stars forming and fading in endless rhythm. Even now, the galaxy is not static. It is being reshaped by tides of gravity, pulled gently by the approaching Andromeda galaxy, our nearest large neighbor. From 2.5 million light-years away, Andromeda is already tugging on us, distorting the Milky Way's outer edges. Ripples run through our disk, like waves spreading across a quiet pond. In about 4 billion years, the two galaxies will meet. Not in a violent crash, but in a slow, intricate dance that will last hundreds of millions of years. Their stars will mostly pass by each other unharmed, but their shapes will twist and merge, forming long trails of starlight, vast arcs of dust and gas. Eventually, the two spirals will combine into a single, massive elliptical galaxy, a new creation born from collision. Astronomers already have a name for it: Milky. Our solar system will survive the merger, though its position in the new galaxy will change. From a vantage point billions of years in the future, a night sky on Earth, if Earth still exists, will be filled with thousands of brilliant suns, the cores of both galaxies glowing side by side. And when the two central black holes spiral together, they will send ripples through space-time, waves of gravity that move across the universe like the faint pulse of a cosmic heartbeat. It's a reminder that galaxies, like everything else, are impermanent. They live, evolve, and transform. Some grow by consuming smaller companions. Some are stretched by cosmic tides. Some fade into quiet halos, their stars cooling into embers. And yet, through all of it, the Milky Way keeps turning. A wheel of light in motion since before time had meaning. From our small place within it, the sky seems unmoving. But every night, as you close your eyes, the Earth, the Sun, and all the stars around you are gliding silently through the galaxy. You are part of that motion. A passenger on an ancient spiral of stars, carried through the cosmos without end. There's something deeply comforting in that thought. Even when life feels still, you are moving at unimaginable speed, sailing through a sea of starlight, pulled by invisible gravity toward destinations your eyes will never see. You are part of the Milky Way's rhythm, a single note in its eternal song. So breathe, and let that awareness settle over you. You are in motion. You are orbiting, turning, becoming. The galaxy spins and you spin with it. And in that quiet motion, you are exactly where you belong. Explore the universe within. The cosmos is still moving through you. There is a hidden map that connects every galaxy. A vast, invisible framework woven through the universe itself. It's not made of stars or gas, but of dark matter, the unseen substance that outweighs everything we can see 5-1. This web of shadow and gravity is called the cosmic web, and it stretches across the entire cosmos, a structure so large that no telescope can capture it all at once. When scientists first began mapping galaxies on the grandest scales, they expected to find them scattered randomly through space. Instead, they found something astonishing. Galaxies were not isolated islands. They were arranged along immense filaments, threading through the void like veins of light. Between those filaments lay enormous empty regions. Cosmic voids, vast bubbles of near-nothingness spanning hundreds of millions of light years. Together, the filaments and the voids form the skeleton of the universe, a pattern written into existence by the earliest ripples of the Big Bang. Imagine zooming out far enough to see this structure as it truly is. Galaxies and clusters stretched into glowing strands, intersections where hundreds of galaxies gather, and dark gaps so vast that light has never crossed them entirely. This is the architecture of creation, a web made not by design, but by gravity's patient pull across time. Each filament is built from dark matter, a mysterious form of mass that does not emit or absorb light, but shapes everything that does. Where dark matter is densest, it draws in gas, and that gas cools to form galaxies. In a sense, every galaxy is merely the visible frost on the cold, invisible threads of dark matter beneath. It's as if the universe itself is sculpted by shadow, and we, made of starlight, can only see the edges of that hidden hand. At the junctions of these filaments lie superclusters, immense gatherings of galaxies connected by gravity and time. Our own Milky Way belongs to one, the Laniakea supercluster, a name from Hawaiian meaning immeasurable heaven. It contains over 100,000 galaxies, stretching more than 500 million light-years across. Within it, our local group, the Milky Way, Andromeda, and about 50 smaller companions, drifts quietly through one of the cosmic filaments, moving toward a gravitational center known as the Great Attractor. No one knows exactly what the Great Attractor is. It's not a single object, but a region of space so dense with galaxies and dark matter that it bends the motion of entire clusters. Everything in our local corner of the universe is slowly being drawn toward it. Even as the universe expands, gravity still binds us to that pull, like leaves carried by an invisible current. And yet, beyond Laniakea, the web continues. Other superclusters, other filaments, stretching into regions we can't yet map. The further we look, the more we realize that the universe is not uniform. It is alive with structure, a fractal of light and darkness extending without end. We often think of galaxies as separate, but they are deeply connected. The gas expelled from one may flow along a filament to feed another. Shock waves from collisions can ripple through the intergalactic medium, triggering star formation light years away. Even light itself follows these paths, bent by gravity as it moves through the web. In this way, the cosmos behaves less like a collection of objects and more like a single living organism, a vast network exchanging matter, energy, and motion across distances beyond imagination. Every filament pulses with the memory of creation. Every void echoes with the silence that followed. It's not chaos, but balance on a cosmic scale. If we could listen to this structure, it would sound like a slow vibration, a hum that resonates through time. Scientists sometimes simulate it using supercomputers, watching as digital universes evolve over billions of years. From a single spark of density, the same pattern emerges again and again. A lattice of filaments, a rhythm of gathering and release. Even in mathematical form, the web feels alive. And somewhere within it, in one quiet filament of one small supercluster, the Milky Way drifts, carrying within it a single blue planet where consciousness has learned to wonder. It's humbling to know that every thought we have exists within that same framework of gravity and time, that even our dreams are held together by dark matter we cannot see. The cosmic web is not a metaphor, it's real. It binds everything, from the smallest atom to the largest cluster, into a single, coherent whole. You are part of that structure, made of the same particles that travel its filaments, moving within the same invisible current that carries galaxies through the deep. So when you look at the night sky and see the stars scattered above, know that they are not random. They are connected, woven together by gravity's patient design. You are not adrift. You are suspended in the threads of an immeasurable heaven, a single light woven into the great web of being. The universe is not empty. It is connected, and you are one of its connections. Explore the universe within. Everything is linked, even in silence. Far beyond the Milky Way, beyond Andromeda, beyond even the great filaments of the cosmic web. There are galaxies so faint, so ghost-like, that they almost vanish into the dark. They are called ultra-diffuse galaxies, vast in size yet fragile in substance. Their stars spread thin like mist across the night. At first, astronomers didn't believe they were real. When the first images appeared in deep sky surveys, these shapes looked like faint smudges, barely distinguishable from the black background of space. But with careful observation, scientists realized what they were seeing. Galaxies as large as the Milky Way, containing only a few 100 million stars. A fraction of what we call normal. Imagine a city spread across a continent with only a handful of lights still burning. That's what an ultra-diffuse galaxy looks like. A quiet, almost transparent structure drifting through the void. Some of them live within galaxy clusters. Others float alone between them, as if they've been forgotten by the cosmos. They are so dim that if the Milky Way were placed next to one, its glow would overwhelm it completely. What's even more mysterious is how they survive. With so few stars, they shouldn't have enough gravity to hold together, and yet they do. Some appear to contain enormous amounts of dark matter, enough to keep them intact against the pull of nearby galaxies. Others seem to have almost none at all, as if they were ghosts. Stellar fragments left adrift after a cosmic collision. Two galaxies of the same size, one heavy with invisible mass, the other nearly hollow. Both existing side by side, defying our understanding of how galaxies form. Scientists think some ultra-diffuse galaxies might be the remains of larger systems, torn apart by tidal forces within massive clusters. When a galaxy ventures too close to another, gravity can strip away its stars and gas, leaving only a faint shell behind. Others may have formed differently, as clouds of gas that never became dense enough to ignite a full burst of star formation. Whatever their origin, they are fragile survivors, drifting through the universe with almost no light to guide them. In a few, astronomers have detected globular clusters, ancient, compact groups of stars that orbit the faint galaxies like tiny lanterns. By measuring their motion, we can infer how much dark matter each galaxy holds. Some seem astonishingly massive for how dim they are. Others seem weightless, their stars moving freely as though unbound. Each discovery adds another piece to the puzzle, and another mystery. Even stranger are the ultra-compact dwarfs, galaxies on the opposite extreme. Instead of being ghostly and diffuse, these are packed tightly, so dense that millions of stars are squeezed into regions only a few hundred light-years wide. They shine intensely, tiny jewels of concentrated gravity. Some may be the cores of larger galaxies that were stripped bare by tidal forces, their outer stars scattered into space, leaving behind only the glowing heart. Others might have formed this way from the beginning, born small, bright, and impossibly dense. Taken together, the diffuse and the compact galaxies represent two extremes of cosmic architecture, one stretched thin, the other compressed to the limit. And yet both persist, each proving that the universe finds balance even in contradiction. In galaxy clusters, this dance between formation and destruction continues. Some galaxies are stripped of gas by ram pressure, winds created as they move through the hot plasma that fills the space between cluster members. This process can tear out vast streams of hydrogen, leaving behind long tails that glow faintly in ultraviolet. Stars can even form within those tails, born far from the galaxy that created them. Children adrift from their parent light. In other cases, galaxies collide directly, their stars passing through each other unharmed, while their gas clouds crash, compress, and flare into new generations of suns. Afterward, they may merge into a single larger system or drift apart, their shapes forever changed. Each encounter leaves traces, tidal streams, arcs of dust, and strange, warped spirals that tell the story of what once was. Everywhere we look, the sky holds evidence of motion. Nothing in the universe stays still. Galaxies spin, drift, merge, and fade. They are both the artists and the artwork, sculpting one another with the slow pressure of gravity. Some grow enormous through repeated mergers. Others are stripped down to shadows. The result is a universe full of diversity, tension, and quiet persistence. A reminder that creation is rarely tidy, but always beautiful. If you could see all these galaxies together, the diffuse ghosts, the compact dwarfs, the spirals, the ellipticals, the glowing arcs, and silent remnants, you'd realize that each is part of the same conversation. They are variations on a theme, different ways the universe expresses its balance between chaos and order. Each carries memory, a record of collisions, starbursts, and silence. Each holds light that began billions of years ago and still travels through space, seeking someone to notice. Maybe that's what makes them so haunting. They are messages without voices, stories without words, and yet they speak through shape, color, and distance. Even a faint smear of light on a telescope image is a sentence in the language of the cosmos. Tonight, as you listen, somewhere out there an ultra-diffuse galaxy continues to drift across the darkness. A ghost of starlight older than our world. Its stars may never be seen by human eyes, but they exist, and their gravity still shapes the universe. Even the faintest galaxies matter. Even the softest lights leave a mark. Explore the universe within. Every shadow carries a trace of light. When galaxies collide, it's not the violent crash we might imagine. There is no explosion, no sudden burst of destruction. Instead, it's a slow gravitational ballet, a dance of light and shadow that unfolds over billions of years. Two galaxies drift toward each other, drawn by the invisible pull of gravity. At first, they only distort each other's shapes. Their spiral arms stretch, their outer stars pulled into long streams that twist through the void. As they draw closer, their gas clouds collide, compressing into bright knots that give birth to millions of new stars. For a time, the colliding galaxies shine even brighter than before. Their cores glowing, their arms tangled, their paths intertwined. These mergers are among the most dramatic events in the universe. And yet, they are almost entirely silent. Because the space between stars is so vast, most stars never touch. They pass through one another unharmed, like ships crossing in a cosmic ocean. It's the gas, dust, and gravity that do the real work, shaping, heating, and blending two galaxies into one. After the first encounter, the galaxies swing past each other, stretching into enormous tidal tails that arc across hundreds of thousands of light years. Then, gravity pulls them back again. They collide a second time, and a third. With every pass, they lose energy, spiraling closer together until finally, after millions of years, they merge into a single, larger system. The aftermath depends on the type of galaxies involved. When two spirals merge, like the Milky Way and Andromeda will one day, their delicate arms are destroyed, their ordered rotations lost in the turbulence. What remains is often an elliptical galaxy, a smooth, rounded collection of stars moving in random orbits. The gas may be expelled or consumed, star formation slows, and the galaxy enters a quiet, mature phase. But if the merger involves gas-rich galaxies, the collision can trigger a starburst, an era of furious creation where thousands of new stars ignite every year. In those moments, the galaxy burns like a cosmic forge. At the centers of both galaxies, their supermassive black holes also begin to move. Each one sinks slowly toward the new shared core, pulled inward by gravity and friction with the surrounding stars. Eventually, they meet. For a time, they orbit one another, locked in a slow spiral. Two invisible giants tracing circles in the dark. Then, in a final moment of unimaginable energy, they merge. The collision sends ripples through space-time, gravitational waves that travel outward across the universe, distorting space itself as they go. By the time those waves reach us, they are faint beyond comprehension, but with sensitive instruments, we can still detect them. Echoes of a meeting that happened billions of years ago. In the aftermath of a merger, the new galaxy stabilizes. Stars that were once scattered now find balance in new orbits around a shared center. The chaos subsides, and what remains is something larger, quieter, and older. A galaxy reborn from collision. In this way, galactic mergers are not just endings, they are beginnings. They are the way the universe grows. Even our own galaxy bears scars from past mergers. The Milky Way has absorbed dozens of smaller galaxies, each one leaving behind trails of stars and clusters that still orbit in faint streams across the sky. These remnants are called stellar streams, and they tell the story of everything we've consumed. One of them, the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy, is being torn apart right now, its stars stretching into a river of light that wraps around us like a quiet memory. Mergers are the architects of structure. They build galaxy clusters, create massive ellipticals, and even ignite quasars, those distant beacons powered by feeding black holes. They shape the universe we see, not through violence, but through transformation. If you could watch one from afar, sped up across billions of years, you'd see two glowing spirals drawn together like magnets, their arms bending and fusing, their centers flaring, their shapes melting into something entirely new. And then, slowly the light would settle, the dust would clear, and a single, luminous galaxy would remain. Calmer, heavier, wiser. Even in cosmic terms, mergers are symbols of change. They show that beauty can be born from collision, that destruction and creation can be part of the same process. The universe never truly breaks. It rearranges. And someday, when the Milky Way and Andromeda unite, we will witness this truth firsthand. Our sky will fill with the swirl of another galaxy, its billions of stars glowing like lanterns. No catastrophe will come, just transformation. A new shape, a new light, a new home born from two old ones. In that distant future, the night sky will no longer be familiar, but it will still be beautiful. A reminder that everything in the cosmos, from galaxies to human hearts, was made to evolve. Because even in the vastness of time, change is the only constant. And in every change, something new learns how to shine. Explore the universe within. Even collisions can create light. There are galaxies that drift together like families, bound not by chance, but by the quiet pull of gravity. They form groups and clusters, vast gatherings of light that hang together across millions of light years. And among these colossal congregations, you can feel the architecture of the universe at work, a balance between chaos and order, motion and stillness, light and silence. Our own galaxy belongs to one of these families. The local group, a neighborhood of more than 50 galaxies spanning 10 million light years, is a cosmic community held together by gravity's invisible threads. Its largest members are the Milky Way and Andromeda, each surrounded by swarms of smaller satellites. Tiny dwarf galaxies, some bright, others barely visible. The Triangulum Galaxy, a smaller spiral, completes the trio at the heart of this group. Around them orbit fragile companions, the large and small Magellanic Clouds, the Sculptor Dwarf, the Fornix Dwarf, and many others, each one a story of formation, of survival, of gravity's endless embrace. From far away, the local group would look like a scattering of diamonds floating in a vast bubble of dark matter. Each galaxy is moving, each orbiting something unseen. And slowly, over billions of years, they are all being drawn toward one another. In 4 billion years, the Milky Way and Andromeda will merge, and the local group will begin to collapse inward, its galaxies fusing one by one into a single massive structure. In the deep future, only that giant elliptical galaxy will remain, shining quietly in the dark. But for now, this collection of galaxies drifts together through space, anchored within something much larger, a supercluster. Superclusters are the universe's greatest gatherings, each one containing tens of thousands of galaxies, linked by filaments of dark matter and gas. They are so large that light itself takes hundreds of millions of years to travel from one side to the other. We live inside one of these, the Laniakea supercluster, an immense network of galaxies stretching more than 500 million light-years across. Its name means immeasurable heaven, and it's a fitting title, for nothing about it can be easily measured or contained. Laniakea is not a single structure, but a region of gravitational flow, a basin in the cosmic web where galaxies move together toward a central attractor. That attractor, the Great Attractor, is one of astronomy's enduring mysteries. It's not a single object, but a gravitational center somewhere deep within the plane of the Milky Way, obscured by dust and stars. We know it exists because thousands of galaxies, including our own, are drifting toward it at hundreds of kilometers per second. Even the expansion of the universe cannot overcome its pull. It is a reminder that gravity is not merely a force, it is a kind of memory, binding galaxies together long after their light has faded. Beyond Laniakea lies an even greater web of superclusters, spanning the entire observable universe. These titanic structures form walls and filaments, cosmic rivers of galaxies that stretch for hundreds of millions of light years. Between them lie voids, enormous expanses almost completely empty, like the silent pauses between the universe's notes. One of the largest of these formations is the Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall, a vast filament of galaxies stretching over 10 billion light-years, the largest structure ever found. If you could see the universe from far enough away, it would look like a glowing web, a three-dimensional lace of light and darkness. Threads of galaxies connected by gravity and time. Every cluster is a node, every void a breath, and together they create a cosmic pattern as intricate as the neural pathways of a brain. It's tempting to imagine that the universe itself is alive, thinking, expanding, evolving. Within galaxy clusters, the environment is both crowded and strange. Hundreds or thousands of galaxies move through hot plasma that fills the space between them. As they travel, they can lose their gas to a process called ram pressure stripping, leaving behind long tails of glowing hydrogen that stretch across space like comet trails. The gas that's stripped away can spark new star formation elsewhere, turning loss into creation once again. Some galaxies and clusters are flung out entirely, when gravitational interactions grow too complex. A smaller galaxy can be thrown away like a stone from a sling, becoming a runaway galaxy, a lonely traveler cast into intergalactic darkness. It drifts for eternity, untethered, carrying its stars like a fading ember across the void. Others stay behind, absorbed into larger galaxies, their light becoming part of a new whole. And within the densest cores of clusters, massive elliptical galaxies dominate, giants formed from countless past mergers. They glow faintly, their stars old and red, their shapes smooth and quiet. In their calm, they carry the memory of chaos, the energy of thousands of collisions now resting in equilibrium. Clusters are more than collections of galaxies. They are gravitational ecosystems. Cycles of birth, destruction, and renewal playing out across hundreds of millions of years. Every motion, every merger, every flicker of light is part of that grand, invisible choreography. And at the center of it all, dark matter holds everything in place. It is the silent skeleton of creation, the unseen hand that sculpts both motion and stillness. Without it, clusters would fall apart, their galaxies drifting endlessly into the void. But because of it, the universe remains bound, a web of light stretched across a sea of mystery. So when you gaze into a photo of deep space and see countless galaxies shining like scattered jewels, remember, they are not separate. They are connected, threads in the same vast tapestry, moving together through time. Each one has its own rhythm, but together they make the music of the cosmos. Explore the universe within. Every connection echoes across eternity. In the deep silence between galaxies, light still travels, crossing distances so vast that time itself becomes part of the journey. To look into the night sky is to look into the past. Every glimmer, every faint glow is a story told in photons that have traveled billions of years to reach our eyes. This is one of the quiet wonders of the universe. Light is memory. When we look at a nearby galaxy, we see it as it was a few million years ago. When we look farther, to the edge of the observable universe, we are seeing light that began its journey over 13 billion years in the past. Each photon has crossed expanding space, stretched and softened by the passage of time. And when it finally arrives, it carries with it a record of what once was. Galaxies are, in this way, time machines. The farther away they are, the further back we see. The universe gives us no mirrors, only light in transit. Messages from the past arriving in the present. It's not that the galaxies themselves exist at different times. It's that we are receiving their light on a cosmic delay. When we gaze through a telescope, we are not just observing distance. We are observing history. Imagine standing beneath a sky full of ancient light. Some of those stars may have died long ago, their energy now scattered through space, yet their light still arrives here, delayed by distance, but undiminished by silence. The same is true of galaxies. We see them as they were when the universe was young, still forming, still finding its balance. We can watch their evolution across time not by moving through space, but by collecting their light. Astronomers use this cosmic delay as a tool of discovery. By studying galaxies at different distances, they can reconstruct the story of how the universe grew. From small, irregular clusters of stars to the grand spirals and ellipticals we see today. Every observation is a frame in a movie that has taken billions of years to unfold. The deeper we look, the younger the universe appears. At the farthest edge of visibility, we reach a time known as the cosmic dawn, the era when the first galaxies lit up the universe. Before that, there was only darkness, a sea of hydrogen gas, cold and invisible. Then, gravity gathered the first stars, and their light began to travel outward, piercing the fog and transforming the cosmos. That light is still traveling, still stretching, still arriving at our instruments after a journey longer than all of human history combined. This is what we call redshift, the stretching of light by the expanding universe. As space itself grows, it carries light with it, lengthening its wavelength, turning blue into red, and visible light into infrared. It's not that galaxies are running from us. It's that the fabric of space between us is stretching, carrying their light farther away. The most distant galaxies ever seen are so far that their light has been redshifted into the infrared spectrum. We can only see them using telescopes like the James Webb Space Telescope, which detects this stretched light. When we capture those faint signals, we're seeing galaxies as they were less than 500 million years after the Big Bang. Tiny, chaotic, brilliant. Each one is a spark from the universe's first attempt at structure. Even closer galaxies tell their own stories. Some are starburst galaxies, burning through gas at incredible speeds. Others are quiet, ancient ellipticals, their light smooth and red, their energy almost spent. Together, they form a record of cosmic evolution, a story written not in ink, but in wavelength and time. To look across space is to see the universe aging in reverse. The nearest galaxies are old and settled. Those farther away are younger, smaller, and wilder. And those at the limits of our reach are children of light, still trembling from their first creation. Each photon that reaches us has survived eons of travel, passing through expanding space, deflected by gravity, absorbed and re-emitted by dust and gas, until finally, it arrives, a whisper from the beginning. The Hubble Ultra Deep Field is one of humanity's greatest glimpses of this truth. In that tiny patch of sky, a space no larger than a grain of sand held at arm's length, we see thousands of galaxies, each one a window into a different moment in time. Some are nearby, bright and spiraled. Others are distant smudges, barely visible. Their light older than the Earth itself. It's like looking at a time-lapse of the cosmos, compressed into a single image. What's most extraordinary is how much light hides within the darkness. Every seemingly empty patch of sky is filled with galaxies, billions of them. Their light too faint for the naked eye to perceive. When we look deeper, we always find more. There is no edge to discovery, only deeper silence, and fainter echoes of light still arriving. This means that when you look up at the stars, you are looking into time itself. The light from the nearest star left 4 years ago. The light from the Andromeda galaxy has been traveling for 2.5 million years. The most distant light we've ever seen began its journey more than 13 billion years ago, long before the sun, the Earth, or the idea of observation existed. Every second, that light continues to arrive, crossing time to meet your gaze. It's a gentle thought, isn't it? That every look at the night sky is an act of listening. Not to sound, but to history. You are not just seeing stars. You are seeing moments that no longer exist, preserved in the motion of light. The universe remembers everything, and through that remembrance, you exist within its story, a living part of its unfolding light. Explore the universe within. Every photon carries a memory of time. The farther we look into space, the more we realize that the universe is still changing, still expanding, still evolving, still writing new chapters in its story of light and gravity. And though everything appears calm tonight, beneath that silence lies constant motion. Galaxies drift apart, clusters shift and reform, and space itself stretches like an endless ocean tide. This expansion is one of the most profound discoveries in science. It began with the work of Edwin Hubble, who, in the 1920s, noticed that galaxies were not standing still. The farther away a galaxy was, the faster it seemed to be moving away from us. Their light was redshifted, its wavelength stretched by the expansion of space. It wasn't that galaxies were racing through space, it was that space itself was expanding between them. That realization changed everything. The universe, once thought to be eternal and unchanging, was revealed to be dynamic and alive. Every moment, new distance is created. Every second, the fabric of reality expands. If you could pause time and draw a map of the cosmos, then come back 1 billion years later, you'd find that every galaxy has moved farther from every other. The whole structure stretched thin like glowing paint, spread across a cosmic canvas. This expansion has been accelerating. In the late 1990s, astronomers measuring distant supernovae discovered that galaxies are moving apart faster and faster, pushed by something unseen, a mysterious force now called dark energy. We don't know what dark energy is, only that it accounts for nearly 70% of the universe. It's not matter, not radiation, not gravity. It's a property of space itself, a pressure that drives the cosmos outward. And because of it, the distances between galaxies will continue to grow, until only the nearest ones remain visible. In time, our local group, the Milky Way, Andromeda, and their companions, will merge into one great galaxy. Everything else will drift away beyond our cosmic horizon, its light stretched until it can no longer reach us. In that far future, distant observers will look up at the sky and see only one island of stars. They might believe the universe is small and static, never knowing the truth, that beyond their reach lies a vast sea of galaxies lost to time and expansion. This is not the end of the universe, but a transformation. Space will keep growing, the wavelengths of ancient light will stretch, and the background radiation, the afterglow of the Big Bang, will fade into silence. Stars will burn out, galaxies will dim, and the universe will slip into a long twilight known as the cosmic dark era. Even then, some light will linger, from the slow decay of black holes, from the faint collisions of dying stars, from the memory of energy itself. The universe will not end with a bang, but with a whisper. Yet this future, distant as it is, reminds us of something extraordinary. We are living in a luminous age. Right now, the universe is filled with light. Stars shining, galaxies glowing, radiation humming softly across all directions. We exist in the brief era when galaxies can still see one another, when light still connects distant worlds. Billions of years from now, that connection will be gone. But tonight, it is still here. You can still look up and see the glow of Andromeda. You can still capture photons that began their journey before humanity existed. We are witnesses to one of the most beautiful windows in cosmic history, an age of light and motion that will one day fade beyond view. It's humbling to think that the universe, in all its vastness, made a space for beings who could see it, contemplate it, and record its story before it grows dark again. Somewhere in the depths of that story, galaxies are still forming. In distant clouds of gas, gravity is still pulling, still shaping new stars, still giving birth to light. Every moment we exist, somewhere else a new sun ignites, and somewhere else another fades. The universe balances itself with perfect calm, creation and dissolution in equal measure. Even as the expansion continues, local gravity still binds smaller systems. Planets still orbit stars. Stars still circle galactic cores. Clusters still cling together. And in that balance, the cosmos finds beauty, a network of stability within infinite motion. It is easy to feel small in the face of it all. But remember, you are made of the same atoms forged in those stars. Your body is built from the remnants of supernovae, from the ashes of galaxies that lived and died long before Earth. You are not separate from the universe. You are part of its ongoing expansion, its unfolding story, its endless rhythm of creation. As you listen now, light continues to travel. It leaves distant galaxies, crosses invisible fields of dark matter, bends around clusters, and drifts quietly toward you. The night sky above is not a still image. It's a living film still playing, one that began over 13 billion years ago and has not yet reached its final frame. The cosmos expands, and so does awareness. Every breath, every thought, every look at the stars is a continuation of that same outward motion. To exist is to expand, to stretch beyond what you were and reach for something larger. Galaxies were not always as we see them now. In the beginning, they were turbulent and uneven, small collections of stars held together by dark matter. They collided, merged, and grew into larger systems over billions of years. Every spiral arm, every cluster, every halo of light is a fossil record of that long evolution. And though each galaxy appears frozen in space, they are all in motion, stretching, spinning, falling, and transforming within the invisible geometry of the cosmic web. One of the greatest lessons the universe offers is that nothing remains isolated. Every star, every world, every atom is part of a larger pattern, an intricate choreography of matter and energy playing out across unimaginable distances. A galaxy may seem solitary, but it exists within the embrace of others. The pull of gravity connects them like threads, each influencing the next, each part of an endless cascade of motion. When galaxies come together, they leave marks behind. Streams of stars, arcs of dust, and bridges of light that stretch across the dark. These tidal tales can extend hundreds of thousands of light years, tracing the aftermath of ancient mergers. Sometimes they form tidal dwarf galaxies, smaller systems born from the debris of collisions. These children of chaos carry the light of stars that once belonged to something else, proving that even destruction can create new beginnings. The large and small Magellanic Clouds, those luminous patches in the southern sky, are two such companions. They orbit our galaxy like distant moons, connected to us by long trails of hydrogen gas known as the Magellanic Stream. As they circle, they are slowly being stretched and pulled, donating their stars to the Milky Way's outer halo. In time, they too will be absorbed, their light becoming part of our own. Every galaxy is both a graveyard and a nursery. It contains the ashes of countless stars and the seeds of those yet to come. Within its dust, new suns are born from the remnants of old ones. Within its core, a black hole, the most mysterious object in the universe, beats like a hidden heart, feeding, sleeping, awakening again. The balance between creation and destruction is what gives a galaxy its rhythm. It's what allows it to breathe across eons. At the center of the Milky Way, Sagittarius AE rests in quiet hunger. A black hole millions of times more massive than the sun. It doesn't always feed, but when it does, it glows with fierce energy, unleashing winds and radiation that shape the galaxy around it. Long ago, it may have shone like a quasar, its light visible across billions of light years. Today, It sleeps, but traces of that ancient activity remain. Gamma-ray bubbles stretching above and below the galactic plane. Remnants of a time when our calm spiral once burned with furious light. And so it goes. Cycles of brightness and quiet, expansion and collapse. Galaxies live not in linear time, but in cosmic rhythm. They flare, they fade, they merge and are reborn. Even in stillness they evolve. Their stars orbit like notes in an endless melody. Their gas drifts like the breath between verses. If we could speed up time, we would see galaxies as living entities. Their arms curling, their cores pulsing, their trails weaving through the cosmic web. Each one would look like a luminous organism, connected to others through invisible filaments. And across the expanse of billions of years, we would watch them change form again and again, like dancers moving through an eternal performance. It's humbling to know that we exist in the middle of one of these great spirals, that our lives unfold within a system still in motion. The Earth circles the Sun circles the galactic center, and the galaxy itself drifts through space, pulled by unseen hands. From our small world, we see only a slice of this movement. But the truth is, we are traveling with it all. Every heartbeat, every breath, every moment of reflection is part of that motion. You are not separate from the galaxy's story. You are written into it. A conscious fragment of starlight that knows how to look back and wonder. As galaxies merge, as stars are born and die, as space expands and time deepens, the universe keeps creating new forms of awareness. You, listening now, are one of them. You are the universe becoming aware of itself. Explore the universe within. Every galaxy is a mirror, and you are its reflection. Good night, and see you in the next video.